my kitchen once again. Today I'm gonna do something, it's pumpkin season. And we have all those pumpkins and we don't know what to do. So today I decided to make pumpkin balls or pastéis, the pumpkin or feuillage pumpkin. There's different ways that people call them. I think different regions has different ways. My mom used to call pastéis d'abobra. That's what I'm gonna go, and that's what I'm gonna keep. But this recipe is very different than my mom's. My mom didn't make it this way. I found this recipe on Pinterest and years ago. I mean, gosh, it's been years ago. And I made it once and I wanted to do it again because I like the consistency they give. So I'm gonna do it again. It's very different because my mom didn't take yeast and this one, it takes yeast. I have here 2 tablespoons of warm water and 1.5 teaspoons of yeast. This is the yeast that you use for making bread. So I'm gonna mix this and put this aside and let it start foaming. This is the only time I make this is when it's pumpkin season. I don't know, because that's when my mom used to make it. It was always around that time of the year, pumpkin season. I have here 1/4 cup of sugar. These are gonna be rolled with sugar and cinnamon in the outside, so we don't wanna add too much sugar inside. I strained this is cooked pumpkin. These are pumpkins I had outside for decorations for Halloween. Halloween is gone. Now we gotta figure out what to do with the pumpkins. I've made some soup, I've roasted some, and now I wanna make some pumpkin pastéis d'abobra, or pumpkin balls. So I'm gonna add my pumpkin. I have about 1.5 cups of cooked pumpkin, and I'm gonna stir this with the sugar. Like I said, this is a very different recipe than my mom's. So I liked it the way I did it years ago, and I thought, well, I'm gonna do it again anyway. I'm gonna use 4 egg yolks, not the whites, just the egg yolks. This is gonna sit aside and rest, and then after an hour, it kind of rises a little bit, and we're gonna fry it. These are popular, I think, around Christmas time. I think in Portugal they do this a lot around Christmas time, and maybe that's when my mom did it. I don't remember, but I remember her making it, and but I don't know if it was Christmas time or if it was this time when we had all the pumpkins. So I'm gonna stir all my eggs, and you wanna stir all this until it's a well combined mixture. And I'm using my whisk. You can use your mixer, but I don't wanna take the mixer, so I'm doing by hand. Okay, I'm gonna put my yeast in here. Yeah, I even asked my sisters because I don't have recipes for my mom, so I had to kind of make my own or find my own from before. So I had done this a few years ago, and I'm gonna do it again. Okay, take some of that pumpkin out of that whisk. Okay, it's well mixed, as you can see. I have here 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour, and then that's another thing my mom, and I think maybe that's why I like this recipe. It has 1/2 cup of brandy, or you can use aguardente, or you can use port wine. I'm using brandy. So I'm gonna mix all this, combine everything good, and then I'm gonna put 1/4 teaspoon of salt with my flour, and now I'm gonna combine my flour with my pumpkin. I'm gonna combine everything, and you know, depending of course the flours, I'm using a half a cup, but you might have to use more than half a cup. So today's a very damp day as we go into winter, so I might have to add a little bit more flour. You don't want a thin consistency, but you don't want it too thick either. So I'm gonna put maybe about a quarter of a cup more of all-purpose flour. I mixed a quarter of a cup of flour, and I'm gonna not mix too much of this because I don't want to make that dough kind of tough. So now I'm gonna cover this and I'm gonna let it rise for 1 hour. So, and then we'll come back and we'll fry it. Okay friends, it's time to make my colander de pabra. I'm using a ice cream scooper. My mom used to use 2 spoons. I probably should have drained more the pumpkin. I put it in a sift all night long, but it seemed like it was still too damp. So you want to make sure you drain all the water from your pumpkin, so it won't be so wet. But anyway, it's looking good. So now I'm going to fry them, and then we roll them in sugar and cinnamon, and this is delicious. Also, I think my mom used to call sonhos de abóbora. I don't know why I have sonhos de abóbora in my head, but she used to call sonhos de abóbora. There's the first one, and you want to put it in a paper towel to drain the excess of the oil. And they'll cook about maybe 3 or 4 minutes per side because you want to make sure the inside is cooked all the way through. And you don't want to put too much in a pan so they don't steam, but they start getting golden. I made this recipe one time. It was years ago. So we'll see how this comes out. Okay friends, here it is, my bolas de pumpkin. Bolas de abóbora. Look how they stay inside. And they're not very sweet inside, but they have enough sugar in the outside that it's sweet enough. We used to eat a lot of this when we were kids. And I like this recipe because it makes them stay nice and fluffy. And it doesn't have a lot of pumpkin flavor inside. Sometimes some recipes have too much of a pumpkin flavor, and I get tired. I like pumpkin, but I'm not a pumpkin fanatic. So here's another way to utilize your pumpkins. Halloween is done. Fall is almost done. And we have all those pumpkins that we need to get rid of it. And you can make some pumpkin balls. Roll them with cinnamon delicious. Anyway, you give it a try. See if you like this recipe. And until next time, let's get cooking.